So today we're only going to do a hive inspection on 3 out of 4 of the hives. We're going to leave this one alone because they're requeening it. And then we were going to just check the feeder box, but we're not even going to do that. So we're just starting to get into this one to do the hive inspection. They're likely, this one should be the normal one. The other 2 smaller ones, they're in the process of requeening as well. So we're not going to do too much of a hive inspection there. We're just going to feed them. So Tazia's popping off the feeder box there. Shouldn't have too much trouble. Did they eat it? Awesome. So we'll be feeding them out. We're going to check the honey supers to see if they've built in those, and if they have, if they've got them filled out, we're going to take that feeder box off entirely anyway. We don't want them to fill the honey supers with honey with the food that we give them. We want them to have, you know, normal, regular, everyday honey. All right, so it looks like we have bees in there, but not built out. So there's a couple of them here that we're gonna check real quick. Okay, not in the second super. There's a lot more bees in that one. Awesome.
Not a ton, but they're starting to build.
Awesome. So right up at the top, it's harder to see on the light colored foundation because we run black in the brood boxes. But there is some freshly drawn white comb on that frame.
That looks like they're drying on all of it. So we're gonna We're gonna take their food source away. So then that way,
don't we want them to build the full boxes?
they're gonna fill it. They're already starting to fill it.
Oh. So no soup for them.
Because I mean, they're not completely full, but we can check just to see. I mean, but they're starting to, like, there's even a little bit on. It's harder to see, but there's even a little bit on this one.
Okay.
So we can give it another week and feed them. They ate it all, so can we do that?
Let's give them 1 more week of food and then take it away next week, just so they can have some more like readily available resources to make the actual wax. Oh, that was brilliant. Mm-hmm. Smart girl, that one. So this is the queen excluder. You have to put this on between the brood box and the honey super so your queen doesn't lay eggs in the honey. Because she will.
She will. She can.
Now, the bees can fit through those grates, but the queens can't because they're significantly bigger. Yep.
All right.
Meat and potatoes time. We're checking for eggs and making sure we don't have any, you know, swarm cells or anything like that, and we'll be out of this one. And then, as I said, we're just feeding the other 2, right? Or we're checking for, we're confirming for swarm cells.
That they are making a new queen, essentially, is what we'll be doing.
Mm-hmm. It's super heavy. It's honey. You get an edge under it and I can grab it for you. There, you got it. All right, so that is all honey. It's got jacked up comb over here. Yeah, you gotta pull that off. That's queen cells. It's queen cells.
Are they capped?
No, well, one of them's not.
Is that capped?
That one's not.
Jesus.
Yeah, the other one wasn't capped, but it had larvae in it. You had to pull all of that off there. That was some weird comb.
Oh,
Weird comb altogether there.
yeah. Kind of bizarre. It's not anything bizarre on that side.
Regular everyday honey frame. Oh, with a side a little side of weird.
I hope that the queen's still in here. We moved some eggs from this frame to one of the new frames last week. This one's white.
Yeah, it is all brood. We had a fair amount of drone brood. You see the difference between the cells there?
Brood over here too. Those might have been a cluster of drone brood.
Well, I hope that's what it was, because that would be perfect. That would be fine.
Oh. Sorry, ladies.
All right, so that's once.
That's a larva.
That's a larva. All right, so that's if that was still in a cell, that would be a day or two from being capped. But that came out of the cluster of weird comb that Tage pulled out of the other frame. That is another one full of going to be out soon brood.
Yeah, this is really nice. So like it's gonna, there's bees cleaning these. So some of these have already started.
They're
to come
freshies.
out. Yeah. But what's nice is that the hive's gonna explode here real fast. So like we're gonna go from not very many bees to like a ton.
Yeah.
Of bees here soon.
See, look at that. They're cleaning house. Tage dropped another larva in there. They're pulling that one out.
Just on the hunt for fresh eggs. I don't care if we see Viney. We just need to see that she has been here. Okay, I see a couple of fresh eggs in here.
Okay.
This one's not completely drawn out.
She's probably working on this other side's not completely drawn out. You have a cell there you need to handle. Druid brown at the top, which is weird, but there's not a whole lot of frame built out. Tage said she saw new eggs on this one.
A couple.
They're hard to see. It has some honey in it, is what it looks like to me.
The cells might not be big
Deep enough yet?
Oh, I think. Oh no, that's not. So it's a fat drone brood. Jesus, that's a big one. I didn't see very many eggs. I want to look for a couple of more. There are so many bees in this hive. So like, this really will tell you what the power of having some resources are, because this is a new hive we put in here.
Yeah, this is the hive that we put the package of bees in, guys. This is.
I see a couple of eggs.
Okay.
Not a ton.
Is that another frame of bees? Yeah, it looks like we've got brood on this one as well. So that's what, the second and a half frame of bees that'll be emerging here soon.
We have some larvae over here. I have some couple-day-old eggs over here.
Okay. We're still looking for a few more eggs. Viney regularly has a good laying pattern, but she's running out of space. So if these bees just hatched out, and it looks like they are because they're all cleaning their house.
She won't have room to lay a bunch of eggs yet.
Yeah.
She has to wait for the cells to be cleaned out, so. Quite a few drone, but I'm not really worried about that. This hive is huge, so. All right, so here we go. I see a lot more eggs in this.
All right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And I see drone brood down at the bottom from here. And then we've got the center that's where Tazia's seeing the eggs. And then on either side where there's still unhatched brood. So because Viney, there's always going to be a spot in the middle because she lays from the inside of the frame out. So that the ones in the middle are always going to hatch first.
Oh, there's
a little friend
down here, and it had an egg in it. Yeah, I don't think so. A swarm cell.
Tage just removed a swarm cell there. So they still feel like they're not having enough room.
Oh, there's a swarm cell down here too.
Here's a good shot of, see, we have one fanning, that's the one with the rear end up in there, and then we just saw one go in with the pollen pants there.
I'm gonna keep looking just because I've seen a couple of swarm cells that have had eggs in them.
Yep.
So
that looks freshly drawn from here.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is that the one we?
A perfect frame to put eggs in.
Well, it just needs to be built out a little bit higher.
Yeah, it just needs to be built out a little bit more.
Yep. So we must have switched this particular frame out with one of the ones that we put in, the eggs that we put in the other hive. Ooh, you just dropped a handful of bees.
Sorry.
So we expect eggs in that soon. Pollen pants.
I see some eggs in here.
Okay.
Yeah, these are maybe like 18. They're still sticking up pretty straight, so she was still
All right.
here.
And there's honey on the other side.
Yeah.
Not seeing anything weird from here.
This is fine.
She just laid this one.
Brood at the bottom. This guy should be coming out here any day.
Mm-hmm.
This is all honey.
Honey. Yep.
Alright. So a few eggs. We didn't see a whole frame full of eggs. But there are eggs in here, which means she's in here somewhere. So that's great news. Do we want to check do we want to lift the bottom box to look for?
You just saw
Swarm cells?
a pair of swarm cells. We can check it, but we can do the tip check
Yeah,
if you
that's what
want to.
I mean, generally, even in that hive that had a bunch of swarm cells, there wasn't. Holding hands over here.
Mhm.
Alright. There we go.
I'm gonna get that larva off the top of there so I don't have to.
Alright.
All right, so we're gonna tip the top box. Tasha needs help with that. So once we're done with that, we're going to put the supers back on, feed them, and then we'll be in the next hive. See you in a minute.